All right, hello everyone. Welcome to another hybrid Major Glitches tournament race. I'm Chex Human, and I'm joined by.
Malmo.
How are you, Malmo?
I'm doing good. It's Monday. That means I'm doing comms with checks.
That's right. And we've got. Where are we? Are we in week 2 of our hybrid Major Glitches tournament?
We sure are.
Yeah, the first day of week 2. So, we have Spleebie versus Tam. Two very, very, very good rando runners and glitched runners. And Spleebie has been a veteran of overworld glitches and hybrid major glitches lately. Tam stormed through and is a scary opponent here.
Yeah, so both of them open with Link's House, finding a bow. I'm seeing a Link's House opener a lot. I think, I want to say you're the last holdout on the Sanctuary opener. And already a map check for a Pendant in Hera and blue crystals everywhere else. So maybe we see Sahasrarlan to Eastern immediately. That's definitely a possibility if you want to play really aggressively.
So both runners are taking a break right after exiting Link's house. Actually, they are setting up a boots clip, and this is going to get them out of bounds quickly to get into a fake flipper state to check the hobo.
Another bow.
That's so cool.
Putting the bow in hobo. Let's go.
Silver arrows after 2 pickups, 2 item pickups for Link. Amazing.
So Spleebie saved and quit to Link's house again, which makes me think he is going to make that really aggressive play into Eastern, this time armed to the teeth with 0 arrows, but he can remedy that shortly.
Yeah, that could be interesting here. Yeah, so Spleebie could defeat Armo soon. Meanwhile, Tam is most likely heading to the Lost Woods, and then we'll see where they go from here.
There are a lot of different ways to get to Eastern, but if you're normally doing Sahasrarla starts, and Spleebie says no to Eastern, he might come back later when he has a little bit more ammo to work with.
Yeah, the dungeon could go much faster depending on whether he has a sword or a lamp or more ammo.
Wow,
Okay.
Tam is going immediately up the mountain.
Yeah, I was wondering. As soon as I said maybe Lost Woods, I knew I would be wrong.
Is this their secret? Is this why they're the #1 seed?
Yeah, I guess so. Defying expectations, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess we all got to start doing lumberjack DMA right away. Climb up that mountain immediately. This can be a little tricky to get back in bounds.
Yeah. It is tricky. So Tam is sort of on water tiles, and the barrier inbounds acts sort of like splashing into deep water for some reason, and we have to align Link from above. For some reason, the direction we approach the tile affects how close Link can get.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they were going for the dash turn method or the splash method, but it looks like they got the splash method eventually. I thought for a second Tam was going to go straight into pod with that one bomb, but that would be even more aggressive. There's a time and place for pod.
Mm-hmm.
And I say going into pod, and you're like, well, why are they going into pod? They're on the mountain. How are we getting to pod from here? Well, it turns out the underworld map is all one big overworld of its own, and you can just go from one room to another by clipping through some walls.
Yeah, in particular, diagonal walls. And in the underworld, there are not too many diagonal walls, and there are only certain ones that are useful. So there are 4 points in the underworld where that we can clip, and that can affect the item fill in this mode.
All right, Bombos on the old man. Both runners will be picking that up eventually because you always rescue the old man in this mode. The mountain is sort of a hub, so you want to have that save and quit point early.
Yeah, it really is. So it looked like there was a sword in Blind's hut. Am I mistaken? I think it was the first chest.
It must be because that's all we've been. Oh, it could have been the woods, but I didn't see it there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was available to Tam on the way to the mountain if they had just done the traditional Lost Woods into mountain route, which is kind of the more important distinction. Both of them are in very similar looking caves, and I got very confused for a second.
Fighter sword and fighter shield for Spleebie already.
You ever see somebody walk into the back of Blind's hut and throw a bomb?
Walk to the,
because they think they're in Graveyard Ledge. I've seen it happen a couple of times.
That's funny. Can't say I've done that. Interesting Houlihan routing for Tam. I haven't seen that sort of upside down U-shaped pattern.
Yeah, it's kind of got this like cinnamon swirl flavor to it.
Yeah. Oh, a golden bee trade in.
You think you're hungry now? Wait until we talk about citrus.
Oh, yeah.
All right, nice money for Spleebie. Really good immediate use of that bee. And then again, turning it in for a smaller amount of money from Sit Kid. And a glove at the dam for Tam. Very nice. This is a pretty loaded light world. We got Mirror and Cack too.
Wow. So the mirror is not just a mirror. If the Moon Pearl is not available, the mirror may be a way into the Dark World. We'll see if that comes true or not.
It's not just for looking at your pretty little face.
Right.
One thing that the mirror does open up for people is if they do decide to make that pod play, they can mirror to Eastern. So if they have a little bit more under the belt to make pod less dangerous, they can do them together and come back for Helmasaur later. Because of how easy it is to clip to pod, orphaning Helmasaur is not really that big a deal. Tam is not having great luck here. I would almost think to take out that bow. Yeah, and they're thinking it too. They only have 10 arrows though. And these Moldorms are impossible to hit.
And turning off silvers just in case the lag from extra sparkles comes into play. Shovel from the NPC.
And a little bit of safety. Blue Mail and Mini Moldorm Cave. Making... Wow, this is a very goth Shy Guy. What is this? It's very yellow and very goth. I don't know if I've ever said those two words in the same sentence.
Yeah, I've seen racers like Tholain use this sprite, I believe. Unless it's a variation. I like it. And Spleebie is, of course, Minish Cap Link.
Flippers in Ice Rod Cave. It's actually going to slow Tam down a little bit going into the flipper checks. They know that with the flippers, they can arm the water walk at the waterfall instead of... Or not arm it, but they can activate it here, giving them a little bit more running room. They've already gotten their bow from Hobo, so they're just going to take it straight into this shallow water and lose it immediately. It's almost a bad thing to get flippers before doing the flipper checks because water walking is faster than swimming.
We're seeing some really neat desert routing from Spleebie at the same time.
Yeah, there's a whole meta game about like what order to route these in terms of like, do you want to do Lando? Do you want to not have to walk out of a Venus cave? Do you have a shovel?
So Tam takes a look at the ledge in Zora's domain, just 20 rupees, and Zora will be left for another time.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be a problem for them. If they pick up that mirror in Kakariko, they'll have an option to do Zora from Catfish later on. I also think, the flippers make it easier to clip down from the mountain if they decide to do that right now.
Mm-hmm.
Tam's routing is very cack avoidance oriented. Ooh, skipping the small key of Hera. You can always get that later. But that is a very important key. Not for the logic, but for routing.
Yeah, I just slightly disagree with skipping it. Just because if they want it later, they'll have to go through 2 more stair transitions, which is a little slow.
Maybe they're thinking they'll get a mirror and can mirror out.
Yeah.
Or something other than arrows to hit the switch. Or even a hook shot or a boomerang would actually grab the key even faster.
That would be faster, yeah.
Hera is also a pendant, and they don't know that Swamp is a crystal yet, so that key might just stay there forever.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always the option of doing it the intended way, which we kind of didn't talk about yet, but you're supposed to clip from Swamp, or from Mire to Swamp, and take a Mire key all the way to Swamp via Hera. So maybe that's the idea, is they'll just do that instead, not even worry about the Hera small key.
Yeah, so the way I understand the logic is there is a so are there 10 chests in Swamp Palace?
There are.
So only one. So there's only a 1 in 10 chance that the key will land in its vanilla location, because we randomize that key in this mode, and so that means that most of the time we have to clip from outside of Swamp to get into Swamp. So typically it's Mire locked. In logic.
And there are other things that can also Mire lock Swamp. For example, items. The things that you normally expect to be required for Swamp, the mirror and the hammer, can be skipped if you do Swamp inside out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we do things like backwards TR and inside out Swamp. It's a very twisty mode. So Spleebie chose not to continue to the Zora checks. Having 461 rupees, I can see why. With the flippers, he can find some money on the mountain and then clip down and do the checks there just as easily. Whereas Tam was orphaning Zora and probably gonna get that a little bit later with Catfish. Spleebie's gonna get it slightly sooner if he chooses to.
Mace Rod is in the back of Escape.
These dead rocks. No, dude. That was so close. He might die here. Oh, he got unlucky.
Wow.
Wow. Did you see that fall on his head and not damage him?
Yeah.
He had just like a frame of iframes left. And
okay, Spleebie's doing a King's Tomb check, tricking the game into thinking that he can pick up a heavy rock.
Can we talk about that bow dash that Tam just did to get the Octorok off screen?
I did not see the dash.
It was sick. They bow dashed the entire screen and managed to get one of the RNGs where the arrow will actually hit the Octorok. And I think if they didn't, they would have been able to just dash through it.
That's really interesting. I've never seen that before.
This is the sort of thing you don't learn from speedrunning. You learn that from playing Rando. And look at that hammer in Eastern. So on one hand, you could have been super aggressive and gotten that early, but I don't know if it would have done you any good compared to just getting it now when it's a little bit safer.
So Spleebie did 2 separate checks from save and quit to do King's Tomb and then Graveyard Ledge, which is a nice call. He's gonna go straight into escape, but will he be Houlihan? Or did he correct it? Or
I
will
saw him
he...
correct. I saw him transition north.
Oh, he transitioned north. Okay.
Did I think so?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay, so he came prepared. So good call. So now Ham is going through Eastern Palace. We've already found a hammer here.
Spleebie can boom that key, which Tam wasn't able to do. Actually, I guess having the mirror out is a little better. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah,
it
that
depends
works.
on how quick you are with those shoulder buttons.
Yeah.
A small key in the front of Hero is always a little awkward. When you don't get a big key, you don't actually get all the information you want. Normally, when you want to walk in there, you want to know if you're required to go through Mire to open doors in Hera. But we don't know that yet because the small key can just be locking the big key downstairs.
Right. We don't know if Hera is fire locked or Mire locked.
Hera Basement is one of the rarest checks you'll see in this game. People like to hold on to that key so they can use it in Swamp. Thanks, Spleebie. Showing your potential futures. One of these runners will be on that sign at the end of this month. Or at least, when it gets added.
Right.
Yeah, so because you can spend keys in different dungeons, there's some provisions to prevent you from locking yourself out of certain places. For example, it doesn't expect you to have flipperless swamp, because if you flood that middle part, it stays flooded and you won't be able to progress without doing worse glitches that we don't expect. But it's a little looser with the key logic. So you can spend that Hera small key in Swamp and lock yourself out of an item in Hera Basement. So you should always have a plan to get that back. There are different ways you can get that key back. It's a little complicated to explain here, but as long as you have a plan, you'll be okay. The main culprit would be the Mire Medallion. If it's locking the Mire Medallion, and you don't have a plan to get that key back, you may have actually hard locked your seed.
So one thing about Tam is he's very resourceful. They know exactly how to approach the double readies room, pulling out the hammer for just 3 simple hits to clear out 6 popos.
I'm actually rather unfamiliar with Tam as a runner. I've seen them in League and other randos. Do they do speedruns as well?
Not that I recall. So yeah.
All right,
Mostly rando, I would say.
We just got Green Pendant Pod intel from Tam, talking to Sahasrala. And that might change the calculus. Interestingly, Spleebie has been there and not asked Sahasrala for the Green Pendant. So he doesn't know that routing Pod into Eastern will tempt him into clearing a pendant.
Mm-hmm. So, Spleebie is routing Zora's Domain with Death Mountain because we can simply do a spin speed clip from Death Mountain and we quickly land in Zora Way here. And so Spleebie has enough money, he can check the waterfall and Zora.
Tam is finally making their way to Kakariko Village.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
They do have one thing that Spleebie didn't have, which is the glove. So when they get to Desert, they can do Checkerboard Cave. Other than that, it's not really providing any clear advantage over doing it early in this particular seed. Having the shovel will also allow them to do the shovel dig spot, so they can do a little bit more thorough clear that desert area. The CAC itself doesn't really change.
What's Spleebie doing? He's doing another spin speed clip. He jumps way to the side, and this is taking him to the bottom of Spectacle, and this is going to be that connector to Palace of Darkness that you mentioned earlier.
We kind of have these weird connectors that we think of, like, you know, an entrance, you have connectors, but we also have some kind of naturally occurring ones in the underworld.
Yeah, this one's particularly weird because it puts us both in cave state and an underworld map wrap. So because of the map wrap, we have despawned all the sprites, so no one's around to bother us, and we're in cave state, so we can go around and unlock doors, which is an unusual occurrence, but that's what we can do. And we see Pendant Turtle Rock.
Nice. So Spleebie mirrored before checking the map. When you're on a dark world screen, the mirror checks what screen you're on and not what world you're in, and it'll just toggle your world. So when he came out of there, he was actually in the light world on a dark world screen and mirrored to the dark world. And now he's a bunny in pod and has to die to get back to the light world because the game just puts you in the light world when you die and haven't defeated Aghanim. This is something patched in normal rando, but we put it back in glitch modes because we can use it to our advantage.
Right. It's a game state where in the original game this kind of condition will last until Aghanim is defeated. And if Aghanim is defeated and we die in the dark world, then the game knows that we should continue on in the dark world.
Yeah, because if you think about it, it's kind of trying to put you back on the pyramid when you have Aga defeated. And then if you don't have Aga defeated, it tries to put you in that save and quit menu with the Link's house and so on. But it'll kind of run that code in the dungeons too. And it'll put you at the dungeon entrance, but it'll correct your world to what it thinks it should be.
And if we take a look at the pots in Palace of Darkness, we'll see that they're light world pots, not dark world skulls. So now Tam will also be checking out desert. They don't have fire source. Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. This is very, very familiar to us as comms.
Yeah. We have a Moon Pearl in Palace of Darkness.
Do you think Hammer is going to be... Oh, no, we know where Hammer and Mirror are. I promised that we would place... not actually place, this is not planned out, but I did promise that we would pray for a fire source in Ice Palace. But we have bombos, so that's not going to happen.
Right. Yeah.
It's okay, we'll just have to make do with one HMG thing. Mm-hmm. So this is something that's unique to hybrid as opposed to overworld glitches. Because these underworld clips are not in logic in overworld glitches, and not even allowed. The game cannot place Moon Pearl in pod, but it can in this mode.
Ooh, the Master Sword for Spleebie in Dark Basement. Tam loses their bee in the hallways of Desert Palace.
Spleebie not counting keys? It's hard to count keys in this mode because you spend a cave key inside and it messes up your count.
Yeah. However, I'm kind of wondering whether he just wanted to approach Hammer Jump from below.
Okay, so Spleebie, I guess Spleebie didn't do... You should know right side. So maybe Spleebie didn't do right side and knows there's either an item there or another key. And is banking on maybe this is a 5-key pod. It's an interesting route through pod I haven't seen before. I guess it makes sense to do it this way if you have the big key early.
And Tam gets a DoorDash out of Aegina, a setup I do not know, but that is very intentionally done.
Okay, so Spleebie did get 2 things that aren't keys in the front. So he could have known that was a key in Harmless Hellway, but was probably using the traditional key counting methods that he uses for no glitches or any other mode really. And if you're not actually counting to 2 in the back, you can very easily get confused about how many there are. And there's the hammer, which we saw on Tam's side, but this time Spleebie has just come out of pod. If he wanted to, he could dip back in and fight Helmosaur, but that's going to be a decision because it is green pendant. But he also found major progression there already. So he might think that that's not where he's supposed to be. And it's out of logic without fire.
Yeah, that is interesting. Seems unlikely.
Yeah, with how easy it is to get back to Helmosaur, I would just leave, personally. All right, Tam is doing King's Tomb as well. This is one of the checks that is Sphere 1, but really easy to just not do. Wow, I've heard of this, but I've never seen it. I think
Tam for sharing that.
I think Tam hangs out with Kern too much.
I want to say that Miramon came up with that just by reading the code and knowing that it would work. Although maybe it was Pinkus. Gosh, I can't remember. Yeah, sorry, never mind.
That's old tech then. Those are names I haven't seen in a while.
Yeah. It's kind of old.
All right, Tam is taking some kind of mirror route, which I think is going to be Pyramid Fairy.
I love this bunny spray. Yeah, so Tam has screen wrapped their sprite. It displaces their global coordinates. So the mirror portal that was placed is actually way down south in front of Hyrule Castle.
Does Tam have a fairy in a bottle?
I'm pretty sure they got rid of it, although I did see Spleebie get rid of it, so I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, the Death Warp is a fast way to get back to the front of the castle where, like you said, it's a Pyramid Fairy check. So we will soon see the clip into that doorway.
Kind of makes sense for Tam to do this part first, the uncle, because that was a glitched out sword from Uncle. Also vanilla.
Classic. Yeah, we have been seeing a lot of swords at Uncle in this tournament, and it's strange, but I don't know. It's true. Even 2 swords.
Swords in their natural habitat.
Right.
Yeah, so Tam probably wants to save Pyramid Fairy for last in case there is a Moon Pearl in here. Then they could continue on a route in the Dark World and not have to re-enter the portal. And not have to worry about, like, mirroring from the item ledge at Pyramid or any of that. And if they do get a Moon Pearl, it will be slightly faster to check the ledge item. So this makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, for sure.
I expect Spleebie will do something different because he likes to do this river clip that screen wraps him again onto the castle, the top of the castle, and then he enters the escape and does that first.
Right.
That's assuming he's going to do it at all, because he did just get massive amounts of Dark World access through that Moon Pearl.
Right. He has Hammer. I mean, Thieves Town might be appealing. You'll want to check the Misery Mire medallion at some point.
Yeah, he might. Yeah, he's going down, but he's not keeping his camera broken. So this is going to be a bog standard Dark World check for glitch modes.
and he gets the good hop, jumping over the bush.
Oh, nice. But he doesn't get the spin speed, so he has to walk.
Yeah. So this will probably be a bumper cave check.
So Tam finds a map in Zelda Cell and does not have the small key.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious if they choose to continue, if they do find it here. Because they do have the glove and could do back of escape, or have already done back of escape. So wait, doesn't that mean this is a small key? Oh, this is a small key. Oh.
Not 100% following
I'm trying to figure
whether
out how
it is.
Tam found the key but doesn't have one now.
So Pretty Bong is saying that Tam left a key, which is something
Oh.
I did not observe myself.
I would
It's
not
kinda
do
funny.
that in HMG, just because there is a route to get a key from castle into swamp.
Yes.
So
We've been talking about it. We've seen people set it up, but I have not yet seen anyone do it.
I have not done it in the tournament, but I've done it before for sure.
Exactly.
I've
yeah.
even seen somebody in Go mode having not done the escape, and the best key they could get was stealing a guard key and taking it to the sewers and unlocking that door.
Oh, a
Because
guard
the alternative
key,
was
then.
finding the
Okay.
Mine Medallion, and there was no
Yeah.
era key available. So it's a good one to know about, and it's also a good one to know about if you accidentally key lock yourself out of the hair basement item. You'll at least have a way to get back into your seeds logic.
Mm-hmm. A green potion is kind of funny here. We can't really. We could. No, we can't really. I don't know what we could do with that green potion to take advantage of an overworld YBA, but it would be funny if.
Bumper
if
ledge
we
item.
did.
Yeah. Spleebie, you can get quarter magic because Spleebie got half magic there.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, we can't do it now, but
No.
maybe later.
Well, Tam hasn't been there yet.
Damn
I
it,
think
yeah.
they know. Balayame has already shown us item duping. Got
Yeah.
a sword and then immediately got 2 more in the Uncle Passage. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, and one of them was a level 5 sword, so it became a green 20, which is really funny.
Yeah, this is not.
We do not see that in this mode.
This is not the hard standard tournament. We're not supposed to see green 20s.
Uh-huh.
So Tam is taking a blue potion. This is kind of an overworld glitch route, as opposed to going into pod, which is the HMG route. So all of these locations they're going to include logical locations that they're supposed to get to with a mirror. You can clip off the mountain with a mirror. It's very slow. So most people will just choose other methods like this.
And Spleebie wins a prize in the chess game with a chess turn, which is pretty perfect.
That synchronized Thieves Town opening was pretty good.
Oh, I looked away just to mark that Spleebie got the Quake medallion, so I missed it. But I see, yeah, what you're talking about. So Tam gets 1 check before they turn back into a bunny. They did open Thieves Town so that they can go back in, and here they can do a death warp. I would like to see an unbunny beam used here, but regardless, this works as well.
I don't think that's going to give you Link State in the overworld, is it?
No, it would give Link State in Thieves Town without having the death warp.
But then you wouldn't
but
be able to
it
do
is-
chess game, dig game easily. So it's not going to save
Yeah.
time. As cool as it is. If you want to see on Bunny Beam, there is a speedrun for it called Inverted NMG.
Yes. Also low percent all dungeons.
Oh yeah, low AD. Are you just doing Inverted NMG just to put off low AD?
Yes.
Fair answer.
But yeah, like you said, I didn't consider that. But that is true. We can't Bunny Link it's a very slow process for Bunny Link to check 1 house at a time. So with Fake Worlds, we can check this screen quicker. So
Spleebie is forging ahead in Thieves Town. I'm trying to think of what has Tam done that Spleebie hasn't done? Because Spleebie has already done all of Pod, except for Helmasaur, and Tam has not been there at all. I guess the escape. Tam went to the escape and Spleebie did not, so that is kind of a dungeon for a dungeon. One of them had the Moon Pearl and one of them didn't, so Tam is going to be slowed down ever so slightly every time they do something without the Pearl in the Dark World.
Yeah, that's a good point. So, it's funny that sometimes route divergence leads to a big heart discrepancy, but here both runners have 6 hearts, so same. Both have Blue Mail, both have Master Sword.
Spleebie counted items and skipped the blind maiden chest.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
That's good.
That is good. I don't think I've ever been that dedicated to counting items and thieves. Blind's maiden chest is where I open my menu to see if I have everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I knew that was a thing, but I'm too lazy to be that dedicated to counting, I suppose. All right, and with Master Sword, we have a fairly vanilla blind fight here. And a nice 9-hit kill.
Tam also counted items, I think.
Nice.
I don't know if they opened the blinds. They didn't get a small key.
Yeah, no one got a small key.
So they wouldn't be able to open the big chest anyway.
Yeah.
So Spleebie's going to be able to continue on this route pretty smoothly, but Tam is stuck in the light world and will have to mirror back to the dark world and become a bunny again. And they're not going to have as many checks available to them as a bunny.
Right. They could continue to sequence break, but it would be slow. So we'll have to see what Tam's next move is.
Yeah, I'm thinking Skullwoods. Given that Skullwoods is the one part of this route that's not a sequence break,
right?
Plus the 2 chests in Village of Outcasts that they haven't done yet that you can mirror Super Bunny into. Those are probably really all we'll be seeing from Tam until they go somewhere else. And we have a Mitts in Dig Game.
Right, that makes a lot of sense. All right, so now Spleebie setting up. It's a kind of a funny jump. There are 2 kinds of quirky jumps that we can do at that position to get to the mire area. So Spleebie is doing kind of the older one.
All right, so Spleebie would have the option to go into mire if the medallion is right, but first of all, it's ether, so it's not happening. But even if it was, they don't have a fire source. They don't have a cane. He doesn't have a cane, so he can get in there and then he can clip the swamp and unlock swamp, but he's going to be leaving the chest behind. So even if he had the medallion, I don't think he would go in there. Oh, if Tam wasn't a bunny, they could totally get this quarter magic up here with the green potion.
Yeah, so Spleebie can take advantage of using the shovel here and then continue down into South Dark World. One kind of funny thing we can do is we can become Link if we get wall mastered, but that's not going to happen here.
No.
We again want a fake Dark World screen to restore Link state on this overworld screen and can enter more entrances as Link. All right, Spleebie's taking the frog back.
Yeah, it makes sense. This is Folian logic, and he just got those mitts.
Yeah.
And he also has the hammer for this part, which he didn't get the first way. It's actually interesting. He Oh, he couldn't. Right. He could have, but it would have trapped him in here.
Yeah.
Did he make it all the way to Hype Cave?
Not yet.
Curious. In that case, it might be faster to just save and quit and go to Hype Cave. Because it's right there at Lee's house.
Not sure.
And Spleebie gets his shield tempered at the blacksmith. That's what blacksmiths do, right? They temper your shield.
Yeah.
They turn it nice and red and glowing. You can feel its warmth in your hands.
ELC blacksmithing.
Oh, he is going to hoof it to Hype Cave.
Yeah.
Oh, he left behind the purple chest. He's going to do the
It's
mirror.
more fun to do it this way. And
Yeah.
we can take a shortcut to get to the purple chest, to get to the locksmith.
Oh, this makes a ton of sense. Because then he can just hop back up and do Hype Cave.
This is kind of a fun route for Spleebie. What we really don't want to do, though, is get mirror boxed, because I think we lose the purple chest if we mirror bonk.
That sounds right. I think it's also possible to just get soft locked on the man.
Okay, so Tam is continuing. I didn't see this overworld movement, but Tam is now using a citrus clip. Tam is using one frames to clip as a bunny. We don't necessarily need the boots to clip through diagonal walls. So, meanwhile, Spleebie finds the hook shot and the book.
Hookshot and bookshot, let's go. In the red meal.
And stopping there with a save and quit. What is next? Maybe putting the hookshot to use?
There's a lot of ways to do that. One of them being hookshot cave into Zora and Catfish. You can also just climb Hera and do Pendant Hera. Don't think he wants to do that though. A Swamp Palace is available now. It's actually not really going to get faster than it is now.
Spleebie wanted to check the ether tablet, but the dead rock kind of disoriented him, and he hopped off the ledge.
Choosing to take the mirror back up instead of the bomb clip. Yeah, he does have also a good portion of Ganon's tower available, and there's the fire rod on ether tablet. So Hype Cave is delivering today.
That's crazy. So, we still need the cane. What else does Spleebie need? Spleebie needs
Ether
medallion.
So Swamp is actually a really bad idea because you can go into the first chest and find a small key, and then all of Swamp is in logic. But it's a 1 in 10 chance that the small key even gets placed there. And if it's not there, then the ether medallion is not going to be in Swamp. Unless it's in the first chest. Which would be hilarious. Maybe that's our curse. Maybe that's what we did. We put ether in Swamp.
Oh no.
Let's do it. I want to see one Meyer medallion in Swamp Seed. Let's go. Tamers are about to get their Moon Pearl very soon. I think they only had a couple logical locations left. One of them being Super Bunny Cave.
So, Spleebie is in Ganon's tower. This is a good call. There are so many item locations here, and there is no junk fill. And mushroom is found in DM room. And the powder.
Nice. Real powder and fake powder. These are actually really not nice. Like they're super awkward to route in after we've already done everything adjacent to them.
Yeah. And it will be interesting to see how Tam routes. see if there's a similarity to Spleebie's.
From what I've seen, Tam, in chat, they have a very, very strong grasp of key logic. And actually, forget key logic. They're just going to save quit out with that pearl. I can't blame them. They are missing out on the tempered sword, though. It's going to be a little sad.
But this is a time save that Tam needs, I think. So this might be good. And there's Ether in Rando Room.
Swamp is open for business. So one thing you're going to want to pay attention to when you're in Swamp is the cane logic. So the way it works with Swamp is you're supposed to have all 3 Mire keys available to you to access Swamp. And even to access Firelock Mire requires those. So, because you're supposed to spend one in Swamp, and you're also supposed to spend the other ones in Mire. Which means that if Vidi has a small key, then Swamp is cane locked. Unless the small key gets placed up front. So when you're going in Mire, you want to look at those keys and see if you find all 3 or not.
Yeah, that's kind of exciting. We'll have to see how this plays out.
And depending on how nice that cane is, like Spleebie might never find the sword in Uncle. Like if Kane is just here, he's in go mode and he'll never go there. So we might see 2 Master Swords through the game.
So Ice Palace for Tam. Tam is, and by the way, we have a lamp past Ice Armos. All right, so we're being very careful here, avoiding a soft lock transition. Okay, so Tam has done a mirror wrap to get into Ice Palace. This is not a logical entry. Like this is like the method is a sequence break, but we do have logical entry into Ice Palace anyway, because we have the flippers used for a flippers wrap, and then mitts are also available like normal. All right, so what is Tam doing here? Tam is setting up a...
This is a dash clip.
Oh, this is a dash clip. Yeah, this is a dash clip.
When I do this, I lose 2 seconds. I used to do it in the speedrun just to save a bomb, and it wasn't worth it. But if you're fast enough at it, you can save time.
Yeah.
Another notable thing Tam did before doing this was they went into the second room and killed the Bari for the key, and then backtracked. So they have an extra key for ice that's going to make routing a little smoother when they don't have the Samaria to do Icebreaker.
Right.
This is something that Tam likes to do a lot.
It makes a lot of sense. It guarantees that there's no extra loop. So there are a number of ways to clip diagonals, and the dash clip is one of the newest, and it was found by Yuzuhara quite recently. So, all right.
The dash clip is really nice for people who have trouble with some of the bomb clips. Oh, we're climbing.
So, yeah, Spleebie, I unfortunately missed all of the gauntlet because I was laser focused on the ice clip and the mirror wrap before that. But yeah, Spleebie is not stopping here. He's got everything he needs to get to Aghanim 2. And of course, after Aghanim 2, the Ganon hole is open, but Ganon is not vulnerable until we collect all 7 crystals.
Oh, and here's another thing I kind of want to bring up. It's a little known rule in the tournament that you can't just go to Mire and clip to Hera and collect the Mire crystal there. You do have to kill Vitreous. Because if that were the case, Spleebie would be in go mode. So that's why that rule exists. Because we do want you to actually kill the bosses of all the crystal dungeons. Pendants are fair game. If you want to pull pen, you can do that all you want. But crystals, we still want you to do the goal of your game. The speedrun does it too. They make you do all the bosses. So it kind of makes sense to have that rule in the tournament.
Yeah, Berna is in the top of GG. interesting GT items. We have one progression item in the form of ether, along with 2 very nice items that may also be progression, lamp and Burna.
And a couple fetch quests as well.
And 2 fetch quests, yes.
That cane is looking like it could be very good or very bad. There's a lot of places we can go where the cane wouldn't be too bad, but there's so many weird isolated overworld checks that one or both of the runners haven't done yet. I think Spleebie might have escape on the mind. Not sure if he's going to do it now after GT or if he'll consider routing him with Pyramid Fairy to not orphan that check.
Right, I get him 2 for Spleebie. He opens with a double, which is pretty good. By the way, in Ice Battles, we have a flute. At this point in the game, 50 minutes in, probably not worth using.
The only way I
Activating.
can see Tam activating that is if they decide to do Smith Chain and want to have a slightly faster purple chest turn in. That's about it.
Yeah.
So Tam, am I correct? Tam was successful with the citrus clip and knows that Meyer is ether.
I have to assume so. I didn't look at the medallion on Tam's screen, but Tam also was able to check the Meyer Hut. And I didn't say this at the time, but I was kind of thinking that the Meyer Hut is a kind of interesting check. Like, it seems like it took a long time to get to and check, but it could have been in logic with the mirror and without Pearl if the mitts were available. They're just not. The mitts are just not in the light world, but it could have been a thing.
I'm almost thinking Tam went there specifically for the medallion knowledge because it's so important in this mode.
It's very valuable for sure. Very much so. Yeah, so Spleebie did mirror after landing and is going to check escape. And Tam going to cold stare.
Tam is a little low percent for this, actually. This is no fire rod, only combos, master sword fight, no half magic, although that doesn't really matter.
No, not really. And yeah, with Bombos, we don't really need full magic for any reason at all.
That's true.
With these items.
Right, Tam doesn't have Invince. I didn't really take that into account. They do have red mail, so they can take some extra hits, but this is going to be maybe a bit more careful fight from Tam. I think they are very experienced at these kind of modes from League and other randos.
Oh, we have audio on Spleebie's side. One thing about the cold stare fight, while it is a little tense just dealing with these high-powered enemies, is that it's also very loud. It's hard to tell when your sword charges. It's just really noisy.
I never considered the noise aspect, but it does swish the entire time you're fighting, and it's pretty obnoxious.
Yeah.
It kind of sounds like you're dashing through water the whole time.
Kinda, yeah. All right, Spleebie did not leave the key behind. I wonder if I kind of wonder if Spleebie will open the door. He will.
This is a preparation play. Although I think a good option for Spleebie after doing Crystal Dungeons is to look inside Mire and then just do Swamp from there.
Yeah.
Especially if
Tam,
yeah, there's that fire rod. Tam was not happy about that.
yeah, I mean, immediately after leaving Ice Palace too.
Right, that cold stare fight would have been a little faster with the fire rod. Now, Tam is going to come back for that small key and possibly do swamp, which is an interesting play when you're missing ether.
Yes. And why do you say that?
Well, so Tam can get knowledge of whether ether is required for swamp just by unlocking it from here. So maybe that's what they intend to do. And if they were only in ether go mode, it would make a lot of sense to do this play because they could just go mode swamp after finding out it's ether locked. But they also need the cane, and they don't know that swamp isn't cane locked. They also don't know that ether isn't cane locked, or cane isn't ether locked. Like, this is an out of logic play, is what I'm saying. Very likely to be.
Right. So, it's not going to be totally like wasted because it's likely that we need to unlock Swamp Palace. So that is something that can get done.
Yeah, and you could go in here and just decide not to do left side and have a pretty fast swamp compared to go mode. And you can still go in here and find your cane as well and get a lot of information about where that medallion can be.
So we're seeing a lot of dash clips from Tam. I didn't see whether Spleebie used a bomb throw and bomb clip, but that is a popular option.
Spleebie has one small key.
And he did steal the small key from Ice too. So both runners using similar strategies, the same strategy in Ice.
Did you get the hookshot clip through the spike?
Oh, I don't know.
That looked like it. I couldn't tell because I have the audio off. But I didn't see the recoil. Wow, color me wrong. Tam is doing left side swamp. Committing to this play. And also still in hair state.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I haven't seen any runners do this before.
So one thing you can do is if you do have the Hera Big Key, and I don't know if they do, but if you do, you can go in and open the Hera Big Chest, or the Swamp Big Chest with it. But then your tile set is messed up, and you can't actually backtrack until you've climbed some spiral stairs. There's a couple places to find spiral stairs, and one of them is here in Left Side Swamp. So you can just go in and say, I'm going to do Left Side Swamp first, so I can open that big chest conveniently. Hey, a sword. It's a really good find for Tam because I don't think they were going to come back for that sword and pod.
Right.
And this is also an item, so they might have been tempted to come back here anyway. What it is not, and we're glad it's not, is it's not the big key and the small key or something. Because that can happen too.
And why is that a bad thing?
Because you just did left side swamp for no items.
Oh, I hear what you're saying. Yeah,
it's the same as map and compass, but
I don't know why.
small key has one more dungeon one more dungeon item that can be there. Hey, Kane is in swamp.
Oh, that's amazing.
Wow. So Tam, once they open that first chest of swamp, will know if ether can be cane locked or not, and is actually in a really good position to be in go mode before Spleebie. If Spleebie doesn't just go to swamp immediately after this. So one way to find out if Kane can be in swamp or not is to go into swamp and open chests and find the Kane.
That's amazing. Oh, whale. Oh, okay. So, wow. Tam got the stair glitch. We've been seeing that a little bit in the tournament, even saving runners from certain key locks. So I'm not yet sure how to activate that or disarm it or arm it. So I would like to comment on that, but I don't have the answer.
All right, where does Spleebie go next? He's hanging on that save and quit menu for a long time. This is a pretty long think. Lots of options available to him.
Yes.
Hey, Tam got the small key in the first chest of Swamp and has angrily slashed that chest because that just opened up every cane lock location as a potential ether check.
Wow.
That is not what they wanted to see there. Not just because it's dumb, haha, not HMG, but because it's actually really bad for your go mode search.
So I'm learning a lot from you, Malmo. This is really it's pretty crazy to see the logic play out like this. And this is a mode where we only have one toggle difference from overworld glitches.
Yeah, the toggle is called Underworld 1-frame clips. And there's only 4 of them, and it does all of this to the seed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little sad that Ether wasn't actually cane locked. Because that would have just boggled my mind if I saw Cane in here and knew that Ether was cane locked.
Okay, so Spleebie, will Spleebie be going into Mire? That's the question. Right now he's going to finish Desert. It certainly looks like a Mire play.
Mire is actually fine for him, because he can do Mire, go into Swamp and get the cane. It's almost like a weird sort of variation of what you do in Alt Dungeons RMG. Except instead of getting hookshot, you're getting cane.
Yeah,
and then Mirror back
exactly.
to Mire and complete Mire.
So funny. Yeah, right. And what, for anyone not familiar with A Link to the Past, major glitches, speedrunning, and restricted major glitches, all dungeons, the classic route is to clip from Mire to Hera to Swamp and get the hook shot from the big chest, and then mirror back to Mire and complete Mire. So it is pretty funny that Kane is in the Swamp big chest. Oh, 2 boss explosions at the same time. Very nice fights.
For
Silver
map and
arrows.
compass. Yeah, silvers. It's true.
Let's not forget we got silver arrows in the second check of the game.
We did. The Bobo check. Okay, so what Tam and Spleebie do next are crucial. I think Spleebie has the advantage, given that the next kind of natural location for him to go is Mire. And from Mire, when you don't find the cane in Mire, what do? You go to Swamp. We also know that because Swamp is not cane locked anymore, or it's not Mire locked, is that the Mire small key can still be on Vitreous, and Swamp is actually not beholden to that logic anymore. So Spleebie might think Swamp is cane locked and then just get trolled by the vanilla key.
Right.
You can remedy that by doing the sort of go mode if it's not Mire locked. Or if it is Mire locked, if that makes sense. So you could just do Swamp after Mire and be okay.
Right, this is very good. Tam is in G Tower. Tam may be finding the Ether Medallion in the next few minutes. And then Tam will be in go mode for sure.
This is incredibly close.
Yeah.
Okay, Spleebie just found both items in Mire, so he can search for a big key.
Oh, yeah.
I guess he could go to Swamp and get that key too, but that would require him to go all the way to the back.
Yeah, that would be a little weird.
Pretty galaxy brain move. It would be kind of cool actually to go into Swamp and just open the chest on the way out. And if you find the big key, then cool, you have a Mire key now that you didn't have before. So he's taking this long way around because he knows that he needs that key and can't spend it in the map room.
Yeah. This is a little slow, but...
Yeah, I think there's a way you can go up and around for the same purpose. In fact, if I was him, I would probably just go to the vanilla big key chest, but here we go. He found it here. The worst place for the big key to be. And now he has to one frame clip to Swamp because he did not move the wall.
Yeah, that's interesting. And we, one frame clipping is not too tricky. I'm sure Spleebie is competent in it. But if we really wanted to bomb clip, we would want to move the wall because for some reason the wall has different properties, being in a moving wall room.
This is interesting. Tam has found go mode and chosen to put off GT.
Oh yeah.
So Tam is missing the lamp, which is interesting. They're going to be maybe slowed down ever so slightly in Mire, but other than that, it's not really going to have much of an effect. So where are they going? Skull Woods. I guess they're just cleaning up crystals and want to finish the game. That makes sense. They can do Skull Woods and then go to Desert Mire, clean that up, and then do GT into Agatu.
So Spleebie got the... So, yeah. I guess Spleebie didn't get the dash set up exactly right. So, he's working on it. There we go.
I think what Tam is calculating here is that walking to Ganon is going to be slower than doing an extra GT clip. And I think they're correct. I think that is going to be slower. So this makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Spleebie could have gotten the Myric big key from Hera too. That would have been fun. That would have saved some time actually. Interesting. I would actually consider doing that in the future. It's making your head spin.
Routing options, yeah.
Every time I watch one of these, I get a new idea. There's no stopping it. HMG has no limits. It's insane.
But I do agree with putting off Aghanim 2 in certain cases. One thing I learned from routing spoiler glitch seeds is that it often is better to save Aghanim 2 for last to get that free trip to Ganon, basically.
I love that hookshot freeze frame.
Yeah, which incidentally is hooking the block because
Spleebie.
We're in Mothula's room.
Spleebie's out of bombs. This is really bad. Spleebie, no. Go forward. Go forward. Spleebie could have gone forward and gotten the cane.
Yeah.
But I can see why. I can see why he didn't. But he could have gone forward and opened the big chest with the Hera big key and the Mire big key, which he has both in Mire state. Okay, so Tam has taken Tam has taken a substantial lead
Yeah,
from that unfortunate mistake.
that feels bad. Yeah, it certainly happens. So yeah, the thing is, chaining glitches is certainly possible, but we have to have the resources to do it. So Spleebie unfortunately did not have the bombs to prepare for the diver down after the clip to swamp. So
Yeah, I actually.
it was very appealing to do swamp, but unfortunately, just isn't. Um, yeah. So what is next for Spleebie now that he's filled back up on bombs?
Yeah, even with the bombs, I timed it for myself, and I'm pretty slow, but I don't save time doing bomb diver down versus just walking down there without flooding it first and then walking back and flooding it. He's gonna do
Yeah.
hair appeasement. That's not great either.
Yeah, I always. Yeah. So
You can do
now
it
the
safely,
key.
but
Mm-hmm. Will be interesting because Spleebie might, and by the way, Spleebie sitting at pot spin speed.
he knows you're watching.
Yeah, and um, Spleebie might hard reset after this check if he wants to save the key.
Well, the key doesn't matter because he already opened the door in swamp.
Oh yeah, okay.
He just has to diver down again. Like he could hard reset and come back and skip the diver down. Like that's an option.
A very fast reset. So this is looking pretty good for Tam. I would say it's Tam's race to lose, but maybe I shouldn't be that sure.
I would be inclined to agree. I think it was very close when Spleebie was on the cusp of getting Kane, but has hit a roadblock that made it not so close anymore. Tam still has to look for the big key and is taking the same route Spleebie did, but doesn't have to worry about burning keys, so they can spend that key and get there a little faster.
Yeah. So Spleebie is returning to swamp. This is still going to remain close for a glitched race, which can have a lot more variance, just kind of depending on a lot of factors, really. There's the increased search space of items. There's success and failure with glitches. There's just a lot that can go awry. And a lot of different ways for seeds to go for every player.
Yeah, and there are some ways where you're in some ways more, I would say more, how do I put this, in control of your fate. But there's also ways where you're less in control of your fate.
Yeah.
So the best thing you can do when playing is trying to control the ones that you can, and you know the luck will play out as it does.
All right, so Spleebie makes sure to grab a key before going to the first room of swamp, and unlocks the door. Of course, Spleebie will return to find it's going to be a key anyway. And meanwhile, Tam is on their way to Vitreous, excuse me. And will then just be, I guess, 2 crystals away. Or 1. Wait, and desert's here, so after this region, I think Tam just needs to do G-Tower.
Did Tam already do desert?
don't think so. Maybe I missed it.
No, I think you're right about that. Poor Spleebie could have just gone in the front, but what are you gonna do? Go for the 1 in 10 chance? I think most
Right.
people find out about that key by doing the whole inside out swamp.
Yep, so Tam is now going to collect their last crystal in Desert Palace. Meanwhile, Spleebie will shortly find the cane. But where was the big key? The big key is probably in the back.
It was waterfall, and not waterfall, but the I said waterfall in chat. That's wrong. It's in Diver Down chest. It's in this one. So Spleebie can backtrack. There's also definitely 2 items on the left side, which we saw on Tam's side. So if Spleebie is searching swamp thoroughly, he is going to see that there is a 3 items and might just go back in.
Yeah.
I wonder if Tam was doing this in Hera State because they spent the Hera key and didn't want to lock the medallion in Hera Basement, which is the one way to like hard lock your seed. They did have a backup of killing that key guard and bringing it all the way to the Dark Cross, but that would be pretty unpleasant.
Well,
So I can see the reasoning behind go into swamp and just hope that you find the swamp small key in Hera State and get it back.
Tam also demonstrating a glitched hook shot at the crystal pickup. That was kind of cool. Nice 1 cycle, phase 1, and quick kill with the fire rod for Spleebie.
Oh, Tam is taking the faster route down the mountain. I've seen you do that. They don't quite know how it works, but it skips the whole ledge hopping down.
Right. It is a hook dash to the bush and then a diagonal left to jump a ledge.
Oh, you're spin speed clipping while screen wrapped?
Yep.
Ah, okay. This sounds easy. Okay, Spleebie's going back in. This is very good.
I think I learned it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not gonna be enough because Spleebie still has to do Skullwoods and Meyer after doing the cane.
Yeah. All right. That is go mode for Spleebie. So probably Meyer next. Are we gonna walk there? Yeah, let's dash.
Yeah. I don't think his flute's active. I think this is his only choice.
Yeah, it's for sure the best way. Yeah. But yeah, take a look at perhaps the tutorial from Josh, or maybe it's in the All Dungeons documents.
All right.
And you will find the hook dash to get into GT.
Yeah, I might want to try it not screen wrap just to see what's going on.
That's true.
Very nice Lambo too from Tam.
So where are we in this series? Is this game 1?
Yeah, this is game 1. So 2 games were scheduled today, and both of them were game 1. Also interesting to note is the 2 games scheduled today are fighting to compete with each other. So Tam and Spleebie are on one side of that bracket, and got Zeke and Chimo on the other side. So whoever wins those series are going to play each other in the next round.
Oh, dang. Oh, no. Spleevy is attempting the AD spooky, but I missed the first error, but the second error was the troll skeleton.
Yeah, the Stalfos can just give you really bad RNG. And you slash at him to get him out of the way. Even if you do that, it can still be in your way. It's pretty awful. Unless I'm wrong about it, I've definitely had it where I slashed it and he just walks right back to my path.
Yeah. Cam's doing quite well with Aghanim. Meanwhile, Vitreous is a piece of cake for Spleevy.
Okay, so Spleebie's
more.
just cleaning up one more dungeon. So Spleebie is 1 dungeon behind Tam. And we can see the effect that had, that little diver down incident had on what would have been a very, very close race.
Yeah.
It does feel bad to go back and kind of look at, like, oh, this is where it went wrong. But the truth is that both of them took very different routes, and anything could have happened in this race.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. Based on routing, it was very close. So once Ganon stops warping, we'll be getting into the rest of the fight here. All right, we're going into phase 4. Just need 4 silver shots.
Very well-timed torch glitch.
Mm-hmm.
And that should be it, these last 2 arrows. And that's GG for Tam, taking the first race in the series of 3.
GG's to Tam. And we are joined by Tam in the interviewing booth. GG's, Tam. Great race. Well played. How did you feel about that seed?
A little bit bad. There was enough things that went wrong for me that I kind of felt like I could lose, but then I kind of got bailed out by some pretty lucky item placements. So, like when I saw Ether and King, that I kind of switched from feeling behind to feeling ahead, but I still knew that I had done some stuff that ended up being pretty slow. So I could have lost.
Right, there was that putting off the Moon Pearl for a long time.
Yeah.
It's really easy to lose time on Moon Pearl locations, especially when they just end up being Dark World. But It was actually extremely close between you and Spleebie, and then Spleebie had a incident in Mire into Swamp where he ran out of bombs for Diver Down and wasn't able to continue.
Oh no.
So I was curious what you were thinking, because I know that you have a really firm grasp of the key logic for Mire, Swamp, and Hera, and the Cane logic. That you were going into Swamp missing both the Cane and Ether. What were you expecting to find in there? Because you stayed in Hera State, which I was also curious about, because it almost felt like it was like an information play.
It was kind of like I knew that logically there was probably a very good chance one of them couldn't be in there. So I kind of went in there like because it was a crystal, and then I got in there, and then I realized that I was kind of stupid actually. But I did left side first in Hera State because I just didn't want to get like punished by a really bad big key in Swamp and have the big chest be annoying. And then when I got the cane, I was like, sweet, I can get rid of this dungeon now. And then I got the key in the first chest, so I'm like, no, I don't get to get rid of the dungeon anyway.
I saw that slash.
Yeah.
Yeah, we came to the same conclusion that the cane being in Swamp narrowed your search space for Ether, and then the small key being where it was just opened it up again immediately.
Yep, exactly. But I had already done left side at that point, so it wasn't too big a deal.
No, but it did open up every other cane lock location too, and
Yeah.
that's not great. You could have done
Exactly.
TR or...
I mean, I did consider doing like Dark Death Mountain and then map rep to Skullwoods because I still had one item in Skullwoods, but I mean, it's like GT that I have every item for, so I'm just gonna do GT.
All right, Spleebie has finished in second place with 125.52.
GG's to Spleebie. And Tam, what was the most valuable incentive for you to go to Mire as a bunny? Was it the cane? I mean, was it the medallion check?
That was exactly where I went. I wanted to know the medallion info because when I got the pearl later on, it wasn't going to be. I mean, I guess I was probably just going to do like hype cave to Mire anyway, but I just. I really wanted to know, and then like hopefully not have to worry too much about South Dark World. And like knowing that it was Ether kind of helped me out a little bit, but it was probably a little ill-advised. I figured like I was in the Dark World. I should just do it while I was there, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense. We're also joined by Spleebie. GG's, Spleebie. Well played. How are you feeling about that seed?
That was rough.
Yeah, the
Gross.
swamp incident was rough. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that lost me 3 minutes and 8 seconds. But, you know, that
I
plus
do.
one or two other things.
Yeah, but your routing was still good. I think both of your routes through this seed were pretty much like comparable. So, but yeah, I'm not sure either. But it did feel like a 3-minute loss to me. But you know, I'm not sure.
Yeah, one thing we're not...
Back and time it.
Yeah. But we shouldn't dwell on that.
Yeah. One thing we're not really taking into account is Tam taking a very unusual route through Swamp, where they actually opened the big chest in Hera State and didn't have to backtrack from full clearing Swamp. But then they still weren't in go mode and still had to open chests because of the small key being in the front, opened up every chest in Swamp to being Mire Medallion.
Dang.
Also,
Yeah, that is weird, getting big chest in Hera State. I don't think I've seen that in a race.
I think I made some decisions because I was kind of flustered and not really feeling great. Like since the beginning, where I kind of messed up doing the DMA, I just was not feeling that confident. So I think some of my decisions were not
Right.
the best.
It was a
Also,
slow start.
Yeah, I left pod as well when I got the pearl. And I wasn't totally sure if the pearl was lamp locked, but I felt sufficiently behind at that point, so I figured I should just leave.
Why would the pearl be lamp locked?
Because it should be behind 6 keys, I think.
No, the pearl was in the Stalfo's basement, wasn't it? Or was it?
Oh, okay, yeah, no, I'm just stupid then.
Which I am actually forgetting which chest the pearl is in
No,
now.
no, it
Yeah.
was the
Big,
basement.
big key
you're right.
chest was a small key.
I would never
Yeah.
even consider lamp locking of that chest. Like that's galaxy brain key logic reading.
Oh, well, I mean, I was just wrong anyway, so.
Yeah, Spleebie did the
Well, it could have
back of.
been only fire rod because of a key in the dark basement.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
I
true.
hadn't.
They didn't have fire out yet.
Yeah.
Because it was behind Hype Cave, so you had to
Yeah.
go to Hype Cave, get the book and all that.
Oh, when I say lamp, I guess I mean fire source, which was pretty relevant. Because one of the reasons I usually put off Kakariko like that is for a fire source for desert, and then I just got like, absolutely nothing from putting off Kakariko. That kind of sucked.
Yeah, it does feel bad. Like, you usually find something, but the seed really didn't pay off.
Yeah.
But your endgame routing ended up making up for it.
I'm mostly just glad I didn't die in Ice Palace.
True. You missed a sword in pod, right, Malmo?
Yeah, it was in the Ruby basement. There was also
Okay.
myths on the game that you didn't have the moon pearl for at the time. So
Yeah, I considered doing those checks after Swamp, but I was kind of like, with the pearl there, I figured that I was going to be way late to D-game and Stumpy at that point.
yeah, thankfully, those myths didn't slow you down at all. You just
Yeah, they just slowed me
completely.
down.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
true. Spleebie did
that's
do this
true.
myth.
Doing Smith chain and
Oh, yeah.
everything.
Yeah. And then the fire rod immediately following Ice Palace had to be a
Yeah.
little frustrating too.
Yeah, that was as well.
Always a rando letdown.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, I got pretty bailed out by some things, so I can't be that upset.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Oh, so did you have Kane for Ice Palace then?
No, I did Ice Palace right after Hype Cave.
Okay. I think Ice Palace was 2 red rupees, and I can't remember what the third thing was.
Yeah, I think a hot container maybe. It was not
Yeah,
useful.
nothing useful. The stealing a key though was nice for Ice Palace.
Yeah, that was fun.
This was a really good seed for talking about the Meyer Swamp Hare logic. So
Yeah, absolutely. I learned a lot during the course of this race.
Yeah, logically it was pretty interesting. It sucked getting the power late, but it was still... I had a lot to think about as I was playing.
All right, so looking forward to Wednesday. That's your next race, right? Wednesday.
Same time, 10:30 Eastern.
So I will look forward to that.
Yeah, thanks for the commentary and restream. GG's, Dan.
Yeah, GG. Hopefully I get as lucky next time.
Yeah, a lot of fun to commentate. I learned a lot from Malmo going over all the logic. It was a really great race to watch with divergent routes and fairly close for a glitched race. So GG's to both of you. Looking forward to the next one.
yeah, see you there. Well, actually, I won't because I'll be racing. I'll see you in spirit.